Hey everybody, Coach Troy here. Now about a year ago, Atari came out with this little machine right here, the 2600 Plus. It is essentially an Atari 7800. It plays the 2600 games and the 7800 games in the style of our Woody version of the 2600. It pretty much uses emulation software to play your kart, so it's pretty much like having an Atari with an HDMI port. So that makes it nice and easy to plug into your TV without having to worry about messing around with CRTs and whatnot. So essentially it's just an easy way to plug it into your newer TVs. And yeah, there's some problems. It doesn't play all the games. There are a few issues. I'm still mad about this right here. The cord was super short on that controller and I pulled it off my counter. Chipped it on the first day. But overall, I was extremely happy with this machine. I still play it all the time and it's been a year. But now I see they're selling the 7800 Plus. So, should I ditch this thing and grab a new one? Let's check it out. I was going to do this video a while ago, but I wanted some time to think about it. And then the storm knocked out my internet, and I got a couple extra weeks to think about it. But anyway, here I am now, and here's what I'm thinking. The 7800 Plus is pretty much the exact same thing as the 2600 Plus. There's not going to be a whole lot of differences. It's pretty much like putting a new skin on the old machine. It's going to have a couple different chip changes and the most up-to-date version of the software, but outside of that, it's kind of the same thing. It's just a reskin, just a new face on their machine. Still plays the 7800 games and the 2600 games. Now, I know a lot of people were very upset when they saw that, they were excited to see, what is the 7800 Plus? And they looked at it and they were kind of realizing, oh, it's the same thing. And again, a lot of people got very, very pissed off about it, actually. I can kind of see where Atari should have maybe advertised it a little better or just kind of shown that, yeah, same thing, reskin. A lot of people were saying it should have been the 5200 instead. It's going to be a while before we see a 5200 Plus or something like that. Not sure if the demand is going to be there as much as it is for the 2600 machine, as well as it's going to take a lot more time to figure out the software and how they're going to present it. So what I'm looking at this as, instead of just selling the same machine, they put, a nice little paint job on it, and they're selling for someone who maybe liked this version better. I think a big part of it is the homebrew market for the 7800 is pretty huge, and people are kind of rediscovering what the 7800 was capable of. It was definitely an under-the-radar console when it came out. I mean, I personally never played much 7800. I think I had one friend who had one, and I maybe played a little bit on there. But outside of that, that was it. But what is a little bit different is what comes with this one. Now, the old one came with a 10-game cart. So 10 different games that you use dip switches for, and that was pretty cool. They had a really solid selection of games on there. This is not going to come with that. It's only going to come with one game. But that game is Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest. That's a homebrew game that Atari is now going to be officially selling. Pretty awesome. And just shows that they're trying to support that homebrew market. Also, if you got an own 7800, if you're in the US anyway, you're stuck using one of these crappy things. These controllers are trash. Now, I did pick this up from Atari not too long ago, so they're actually selling the Euro version of the gamepad instead of those trash controllers. And these are game changers when it comes to playing 7800 games. It is just so much better to have this gamepad than the old controller. Though the one that is now coming with the 7800 Plus is actually going to be cordless, so you can snip that. And if you want, you can also get the combo pack that's adding all of that, plus paddles, controller extenders, and the 2600 joystick. So now back to the big question. Should I buy a 7800 Plus? Now just looking at this thing, I would absolutely say if you like playing 2600 and 7800 games, absolutely. It's a great way to play it if you've got the carts. If you've got that collection at home and you want to play on something other than your CRT, yes, buy it. Only problem is, I already did. I got this one. Again, these are pretty much the same machine. So if I've got this, there's really no reason for me to buy a new one. All these other add-ons and the games, you can buy those separately. You don't have to pick up a new machine just to get these. You can buy them separate. So if I'm actually going to pick it up, I got to think, what makes this better than this? Now again, the 7800 Plus that they're selling is not exactly like this. It's actually the European style. Bigger rainbow, bigger logo. I actually like the way it looks better than this one. And it's going to be, miniaturized, like this one is smaller than the regular one. The 7800 Plus is going to be a little bit smaller as well. There are a few things, though, looking at these particular machines that I might want to switch. The 2600 version has got these switches in front, where in the 7800 version, you're going to have actual, honest buttons. The 80s were very high-tech. One thing I always hated about this one is how the controller ports are in the back. Making the cords wrap around the top of the machine, I just never liked it. And again, looking at this stupid chip right here, it's just not very practical. On this version, we're going to have the ports right up front where they should be. Putting these difficulty switches on the back, having them right in front, a little easier to manage and get to, especially when you have some games that require you to hit these while you're playing. I'm looking at you, Ghostbusters. But are those things enough to make me spend $130 to get a new one? So looking at it that way, I am for sure going to buy Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest for $30. Not a bad deal. I'm for sure going to get the wireless controller. That's another $35. So that's $65. 130 minus 65 equals 65. So I'd essentially be buying one of these for $65. Is that worth it? I could buy this completely unnecessary system here, or I could spend that money to buy 2 of the new games that are coming out. Most likely Frenzy and Bounty Bob. So, decisions. Still haven't fully decided, but right now, I'm leaning towards using that money to buy more games. I really do like the design of the 7800 Plus better, even though this thing still does look pretty cool. I'm thinking I just don't really need it, and I gotta save just some money somewhere so I can waste it in other places, right? So that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm leaning towards no and buying more games instead. But still, you never know. One of these days, I might just click on that website and end up buying it. So let me know what you guys think. You gonna get that 7800 Plus? Did you already get a 2600 Plus? Were you a little pissed off when you saw that it wasn't nothing really new? But most importantly, which of these games are you looking to pick up? Anyway, this is Coach Troy. Thanks for listening. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for joining me as I start my journey into the world of retro gaming. If you're interested in my other hobbies of fitness or board games, check out my other channel. Anyways, this is Coach Troy. I'll see y'all next time.